Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of PL preview on Frontrunner. I've got Leroy Rosenior with me. We're going to be talking about all things English teams. Leroy, thank you always for always joining us. It's an honor to have you on Frontrunner.
No problem. Good to be here.
Good to be here. Before we get to the big one, something big happened today. Or should we start with it? Cristiano Ronaldo back
hmm
at Manchester United. Wow, I did not. I'm a huge Manchester United fan, so you can imagine the excitement in me. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah, great excitement for Man United fans. I didn't see that one coming. Everything pointed towards him going towards Man City, obviously with the Harry Kane deal being off. But I think it's a real coup for Man United. He's 36 years old, but he's a young 36 years old. And I still felt after the Sancho signing and the Varane signing that Man United still had some way to go to be challenging the likes of Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. But to get Ronaldo through the door, not sure how long the deal is, I'm not sure, but I think it suggests that they want to challenge in the next season or two for the Premier League title. I think this will go a long way towards doing that. We know he's been one of the best players in the world. That is totally, everybody's totally aware of the ability of this man. Whether it can take them to challenge for the Premier League title remains to be seen. Um, in all honesty, I still think that they might be a little bit short, but it's really exciting for Man United fans to see Cristiano Ronaldo, top and tail in his career at Man United, starting at Man United as a wide player, developing into the top class player he was, then going off to Real Madrid and now via Juventus coming back. It's a great story. And for Cristiano Ronaldo, it's one that I think it's gone to Man United, not just for the romance of it, not just because he's an ex-Man United player, because he wants to continue to win things. So to bring that mentality to Man United can only be a good thing. So whether it's a signing that can take Man United to challenge for the likes of Man City and Chelsea and Liverpool, it remains to be seen. And I think now it's for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to I think that the thing that is the little nagging doubt in my mind is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You put him up against Pep, Klopp, and Tuchel. These are managers who have been there and done it. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been there, and he hasn't quite done it on many occasions. He hasn't won anything. And to win the Premier League against three managers of that caliber, with the caliber of squads that they've got, settled squads who know what they're doing, have a set play of doing things, I think might be one step maybe too far. But Cristiano Ronaldo can only help in that quest to win the Premier League title.
I hear you. Thank you so much, Leroy. As a Manchester United fan who feels as though Ronaldo, I feel like Ronaldo is our pride, is our product. Apart from the fact that he's there to help us win the league and trophies, I would also like to think it's a good thing. I mean, he's won all there is to be won in football, undoubtedly. As a Man United fan, I would have loved to see Cristiano Ronaldo retire at Old Trafford, and it is finally happening. I am.
Yeah, look, I still think he's 3 or 4 years away at least from retiring. He's such a fit guy. It's like, Ibrahimovic is 40 years old now. He's still playing. I don't see why Cristiano can't go on for as long as that and maybe longer. I think what Man United fans want to see is not just him retiring, but retiring with a few trophies in that Man United cabinet again. And when I say a few trophies, I don't mean the League Cup. I don't mean the FA Cup. I mean the Premier League title and the Champions League, because that's what Man United are about. And, we talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer winning the trophy. The reason we talk about him not winning the trophy, not because him winning the League Cup or the FA Cup will say, yeah, he's done it, he's been successful. No way. That's about him. That's about it being the stepping stone to success, to get in the habit of bringing silverware through the door. And, history suggests that teams, like Man United, when they've been through a difficult period, like Chelsea, like Liverpool, they've got to win that first trophy, get within the squad to get the habit of winning again. And that's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't done. We saw Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, he didn't win anything for a couple of seasons. They lost finals, but they won that first trophy, and then they've gone on, and it's become a habit. Same with Man City, the League Cup. Mourinho, wherever he went, he targeted the League Cup to get in the habit. Man United haven't done that. And that's why you just feel it'd be so difficult for them to go from that of winning nothing to winning the Premier League when you've got not only great squads around like Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. By the way, Leicester as well, fantastic. They've won the trophy recently, but also great managers as well. But Cristiano Ronaldo will certainly help their cause.
Thank you, Leroy. Now we move on to Harry Kane. Manchester City seem to don't have it right on track when it comes to those transfer windows. I mean, Ronaldo was rumored to be going to Manchester City, of which didn't happen. Same thing with Harry Kane. Harry Kane remains at Spurs. What do you think went wrong with that deal, if there was ever a deal?
Well, Man City have got a track record of this. They did it with Sanchez. Where everybody thought that Sanchez was going from Arsenal and going to sign for Man City, right at the last moment they pulled out because it didn't feel right. And this has gone on for so long. And to think that 150 million would have to get Harry Kane out of the door at Man City, at Tottenham. I think they decided, maybe this wasn't right, didn't feel right, because Harry Kane's 28 years old. In a year's time, you have people like Haaland who will be on the market. Maybe Lewandowski would be on the market. They're not going to be anywhere near 150 million plus wages, which you're talking about, north of 200 million pounds. And so it just seemed like if it was going to happen, it was going to happen quickly, and it didn't. And it went on, and it would be really difficult to get Harry Kane out of Tottenham without paying that sort of money. And I just think Man City, people say, look, they've got an endless pit of money, but you know what? You've got to get value for money as well, and it's got to be right for the club. And it didn't seem like that. And it was interesting, Pep, in his press conference today said they're the same squad as last year. The only difference is they've lost Aguero, who hardly played last season, and they paid 100 million for Grealish. And you look at, but the other thing that he didn't say was that they're a squad that were a year older as well. People like Jesus, who, even though not playing centre forward, played very well against Norwich on that right hand side. You've got Foden, who's a year older, vast more experienced, and you look at their squad still. Sterling, who had the tremendous European Championship. So I still think they're the favourites. I honestly do. I think they're the team to beat. Chelsea, even with Lukaku, I still think Man City are the team to beat. Because they've now been there and done it. They know how to do it. And I think Grealish is a terrific player. And I also think that Pep will get it right week in, week out, like Klopp does, like Tuchel does. I just feel that there's always a slip up along the way with Man United. So, yeah, look, they didn't get it right with Harry Kane, but they won the league and they got the Champions League final without him last year. And they are, on paper, a better squad than they were last year. So I think that is a valid case. I still feel they've got the know-how and the quality and depth to deal with maybe playing with a false nine. I think they've just got the best false. They've got about 6 false nines in their squad, and they seem to play fantastic football without playing without an out-and-out striker. So, if anybody can do it, it's Man City.
Absolutely. Thank you, Leroy. You made a mention of the UEFA Champions League earlier on in the chat, and the new season, the draw concluded yesterday. And what do you think of the groups that English teams have been drawn against? Which group would you say will be hard for the English teams?
I think they'll all be hard. They'll all be hard. When you're in the Champions League, they're all difficult. But I fancy the English side strongly. I look at the groups, and every single one, I think, well, the English teams are the favourites in that group. So, and that's not being flippant. That's not being overconfident. That's actually a fact. The other teams in the groups would be more worried about the British teams, the teams in the Premier League, than the Premier teams in the Premier League will be of them. And that's where the game is at the moment with the Premier League. So yeah, I think that they should be more than confident. They look, the 2 British teams finished in the final last year. What have they got to fear? They've got absolutely nothing to fear. And so I think that the British team should be very confident of making it through those groups.
You know, Leroy, Chelsea United fans are confident that they are going to retain the UEFA Champions League. Would you say, is it because of how they're playing, or could the return of Lukaku to the Blues contribute to their confidence in a way?
I think Chelsea, to be honest, I think Chelsea, did you say Chelsea and United fans or just Chelsea, do you mean?
I said Chelsea. They are confident
Chelsea.
that they will retain the UEFA Champions League.
I'm sure they are, but it's obvious that Thomas Tuchel is targeting the Premier League. You know, they want to chase Man City down. They want to win the Premier League. And, you know, I think it'd be difficult for them to retain the Champions League. They'll be in amongst the favourites to do that. But I honestly think that this Chelsea side, Thomas Tuchel, it was the Champions League within the first 6 months of his taking the managerial reins, and now for people to talk about Chelsea as being the best team in the Premier League, they've got to beat Man City to the title. And it's interesting that Thomas Tuchel said they want to chase them down, and they see Man City as the biggest rivals. And that's no disrespect to Liverpool or Man United. That is a fact. You know, Man City the last 10 years, I think they've won the Premier League title 5 times. You know, they are the team to beat, and I think they know that. And to do that, sometimes it's not even about retaining the Champions League; it's to lift that Premier League title. So I think their priority this season will be to lift that Premier League title again and wrestle it away from Man City in the Champions League. Yeah, of course they want to retain it, but I think that would be an added bonus for them. And so it's weird. You know, at the end of the season, if Chelsea won the Premier League and Man City won the Champions League, I think both sides would be very, very happy, in all honesty.
Leroy, now let's close it off with the EPL. Things aren't looking good for Arsenal. I'm not surprised. I'd like to think Arsenal is being Arsenal, but what are your thoughts on how they've started so far? They lost to the newly promoted Brentford in their first opener of the league. I mean, that's not how you want to start your season. More especially when you're aiming for the top 4. I don't even think they're going to be in the top 4.
No, they're not going to be in the top 4, Arsenal, if they're being realistic. And if Arsenal fans around the world are being realistic, they've got so much work to do. Yes, there was an excuse of, obviously, you know, players being ill in the first game, but there was no excuse for the lack of attitude in the team in that first game. There's no excuse for the lack of organisation in the second game against Chelsea, because, you know, Arsenal always start slowly and Brentford are a combative side. I think everybody thought Chelsea would beat them, but they didn't think that it was a 2-0 thrashing, let's be honest. It could have been 6 or 7 in the first half. And cup game against West Bromwich Albion was massive, you know, because that is when, I know they won 6-0 against Man City. I think it's almost an impossible task for them, in all honesty. What I want to see, and what Arsenal fans want to see, is some sort of performance which suggests that they're going forward and there's a plan in place, because I do think this is the medium and long-term plan for Arsenal.
Manchester United started off like a house on fire in their opening game with Pogba and Bruno. That combination, incredible. And then went on to play a draw in their second game. Your thoughts on that?
Well, again, I wasn't surprised, in all honesty. But then when I saw the team, I thought, hey, look, there could be a problem here. And the problem was that McTominay was out injured. I think he'd had a groin operation. And instead of putting a Van der Beek in against the Southampton side, he got beaten in their first game, he puts Matic in with Fred. And why do you need 2 holding midfielders against Southampton? If you're a progressive side, you want to go and win games, you don't need another defensive midfield player. And my problem with Man United is when they get into a difficult period in games, which lots of teams do in the Premier League, they rely on a piece of brilliance from Bruno or a piece of brilliance from Pogba to get them out of trouble. And that can't be. You know, you look at Liverpool, yeah, they've got a way of playing, but I think for Man United, I'm not sure what their way of playing is. They're looking for a great pass from Pogba, a great bit of skill from Bruno, where from Man City's point of view, we know they're set play. They get in a certain place, The fullback makes a run inside the other fullback. They lay it in, they cross it, or they play it into De Bruyne. He puts a cross in, and there's runners. With Liverpool, they press high at the pitch. They win the ball high at the pitch, get it back. But for Man United, they just seem to rely. Pogba don't play well. He's either rubbish. If he plays well, he's the best thing since sliced bread. And the same with Bruno. And it's that independence, and that you can't rely on that all the time. And I just think that they've got to ditch that 2 holding midfield players and get 1 fantastic holding midfield player. I don't think they have that. Fred is decent, but he gives the ball away too much for me. Matic, I think, is past his best. And I don't think McTominay is a holding midfield player. I think he's got great legs, a great athlete. So maybe that's the thing that suggests to me that why Man United drop points, because they need to go with 2 holding midfield players at Southampton. And that suggests to me that Ollie hasn't got the confidence in the team. I just think he picks the wrong team with 2 holding midfield players against Southampton. I don't think United need that. And if they're to go forward, they need to be more flat. Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo will come into the team and he will ditch that midfield player. Because I honestly believe that, look at Liverpool, 1 holding midfield player, Fabinho, in there. You look at Man City, 1 holding midfielder, if it's either Rodri or Fernandinho, the rest are attacking players. And I think that's one of United's downfalls, their midfield. So, and that's why they drew the game.
Now let's touch on the teams that have been newly promoted to the EPL. Which one would you say? I know it's just been 2 games, but which one would you say has been pretty much impressive so far?
Well, Brentford have been the most impressive. Obviously, picked up 4 points. The win against Arsenal, 2 clean sheets. The clean sheet against Crystal Palace in 2 London derbies. They're combative. Watford obviously got the win against Aston Villa, but I thought they were poor last week. And Norwich, even though they're the team who came out top of the championships, they look like exactly the same team that went down last year. But then they've had 2 very difficult games against Liverpool and Man City. At this moment in time, Brentford seem to be the team who are more suited to the Premier League. But they've had 2 easier games, I think. But the thing is, you need to get points on the board early. And that's what Brentford have done. You need to get your first win. Watford and Brentford have done that. And that Norwich team will be, all the confidence they took from coming up through the championship will be evaporating quickly. And it'll be evaporating until they get that first win on the board. And so I just think that it's key for Norwich to pick up some points and pick up some points very, very quickly. But the team at the moment who look to have settled in the Premier League the quickest are definitely Brentford.
You like predicting, because predictions are my favorite thing, and I love it when people get it wrong. Big one tomorrow is Manchester City versus Arsenal. Who are you going with there, and what do you think the score is going to be?
Man City to win, and Man City to win 3-0.
Man City to win 3-0. Okay, and then we have Liverpool versus Chelsea. That's another big
I'm going to sit on the. It's a big one. I'm going to go 1-1. I think this will be a draw.
It should be a 1-1 draw. And who do you think the goal scorers are going to be? It looks like Liverpool players still have their goals.
Liverpool, Salah, and Lukaku for Chelsea.
Do you think Lukaku is going to get into the scoring books?
Yeah, he's going to score, definitely.
All right. And then on Sunday we have the Wolves versus Manchester United. Well,
the Wolves haven't picked up a point as yet. Lost 2 games really narrowly, but I do think Man United will have enough to beat them. So I'm going to say 2-0 Man United.
Okay. Do you think we'll see Ronaldo on Sunday donning the red and white?
No, I don't know. Definitely not. There's still a few things to get done. It'd be interesting. He might be there, but I doubt you'll see him on the pitch. It'd be amazing if you do.
No, that's all from my side for now. Thank you so much for always making time for us. We truly appreciate it.
No problem. You take care. Have a lovely week.